Hey everybody, my name is Tom Tullis. This is the Tomb of 3D Printed Horrors, and today we're going to take a look at two new types of build plates available for your Bambu Lab printers. These are the new Cryo Grip plates by BiQu. That's the blue one you see on the left. That is their Frostbite plate. They make another one called the Glacier plate that is a little bit smoother, but the adhesion is not quite as good, and BiQu specifically asked me not to compare it to Bambu Lab's Super Tack plate there on the right. Both plates have a very distinct feel to them. The Frostbite is a little bit coarser. It's got a little bit of a, I don't want to say, it's not like a textured PEI plate. It's not that severe. But if you run your fingers across it, you can feel a little bit of a tooth to it. The Super Tack is smoother, but they both feel like a different material. I don't know what these are made of. What the coating is, but it's very thin. It does burn off pretty easily when you have the nozzle go down at the back side of it there and do the little run back and forth that it does. It does remove the coating pretty easily when it does that. Other than that, I've been testing these for about a month now, and I've not had any issues with any of the surface coating peeling up or anything like that. They seem to be really durable. Just up front, both BiQu and Bambu Lab did send me a complimentary plate to test. I did not pay for either one of these, so I just want you all to know that up front. But I put these through various tests. What are these good for? Well, for the type of terrain tiles we print here at Fat Dragon, you tend to see a lot with larger rectangular pieces curling at the edges. These both eliminate that. The adhesion is fantastic. It's also great for tiny parts like these little Starship engines for Battlefront Valkyrie. On the old textured PEI plates, I would have had to have print these with a brim on them to get this many to print successfully. With the Super Tack and with the Frostbite, that's no longer an issue. You can print stuff like this with a very tiny footprint without any issues with adhesion. Now with terrain, same thing. You can load up your build plate, not worry about them breaking loose, which is fantastic. You can go to the edges on something like this. With these Battlefront Valkyrie base post for the starships, I can print 100 of them, no problem. I don't have to worry about them peeling up and ruining the print job. Both of these plates do fantastic with stuff like this. Now, which one's better? Well, kind of depends on what you're wanting. Just from straight adhesion, the Bambu Lab Super Tack has better adhesion than the BiQu Frostbite. Just no question. If you take a look at this plate here of the post I printed on the Super Tack, I'm going to flex it along the long axis of the post and give it really good flexes here. And I mean, it's taken all of my strength, and I popped like 2 of them off here. Just keep at it. I mean, I'm forcing this thing at this point, and a few more have popped off. Not many. Again, I'm forcing. This is a steel plate, and I am forcing these. You can see I've gone through maybe a quarter of them at this point, and I'm flexing, and it's still taking forever to get them to pop. And even with all that, I've gotten 1 row at this point. This thing just does insanely well. And again, go back. Get this a little bit better in frame, and just, I mean, I'm trying to force this with all of my strength to get these to pop off, and it is really taking some work. And so, but I mean, eventually stuff does pop off, but you really got to keep messing with it and keep playing with it. With the Super Tack, it's, I don't want to say it's got too much adhesion, because I hate to say that after a decade of wishing for a high adhesion plate, but this is about as good as you could ever expect to get on a 3D printing plate. There, one last flex and everything came off. Now, is the BiQu plate this good? Well, it's good enough for them to all print, and that's what matters. The BiQu plate, they all printed successfully, and that's what you want. Same thing, I'm going to flex it along the long axis here. Give it one just flex, and they all pop off. So the adhesion is good enough for the job, but it's not overkill either. So again, it comes down to what you want here. I want to talk a little bit about this sloped model test that you see all over YouTube, people to show their adhesion. There's two different types of these models that people print. And the first is the one on the left, and that's the one I'm going to show you in my test. And this is the better of the two. The one on the right that goes to a point, it's not as good. It's almost a cheat. And the reason for this is the one on the left I'm showing here has a flat upper surface. You're actually going to be printing top surfaces with this model. And that's important because if you get nozzle drag or anything else, that's going to start pushing the model back and forth, and that can break the adhesion free. In the case of the one on the right, there is no top surface to this. It is completely wall shells all the way up to the top. So you're less likely to knock this print free. So if you see something like this, it's really not a good test of this model, of this design, and it's a little bit misleading in my opinion. I think you need to print it in the style of the one on the left, so you actually not only are printing shells all the way to the top, but then you are printing a wide top surface too, because most models you're going to print are going to have some type of top surface, and I think that's essential for this test. So, starting off with the frostbite, my first attempt did fail. It got pretty close to the top, but once it started those top surfaces, it wanted to break free. So I'm going to up the temperature a little bit. This is at 45, and it did successfully print. So now we're going to see how this looks here as far as getting it off. Give it a few shakes upside down, and the print falls off. Has a nice, had good adhesion, worked in. Now we'll take a look at the Super Tack and what it does. So what I'm going to do, same thing I did with the BiQu plate. I'm going to shake it upside down, give it some good shakes, and shake it even harder. Shake it harder? Nope. Okay, well I'm going to grip it by the model now. And I'm going to shake it by the model, so I'm actually swinging the steel plate. And this thing does not want to let loose, so keep at it. There it goes finally. Again, both plates did their job. The model printed successfully, but the Super Tack definitely has better adhesion. Here are some very thin, tall posts I printed. Both of them printed successfully, both with the frostbite and the Super Tack, so no complaints there. They do pop free with just a little bit of effort, but that doesn't matter. It is all about, can it print successfully? Again, Super Tack did just fine. Both cases, they were held tight. There was no wobbling on them, no Z-banding, anything like that. They came out really, really nice and clean. So again, both plates do their job. I will do a follow-up video on these probably somewhere between 6 months and a year from now, once I've had more time to test them. 30 days really is not enough to see how they're going to wear, how adhesion decreases over time, and things like that. A few notes on these. Both manufacturers recommend only cleaning these with soapy water. I used Dawn dishwashing soap for mine, and it worked really well. Both manufacturers have told me do not use isopropyl alcohol on either plate. So I did not. I cleaned these at the beginning. I did clean the BiQu Frostbite 2 additional times to try to get it to adhere better, because I did have a few failures on it. Didn't make a difference. The Super Tack was cleaned once when I got it from the factory, and I never touched it again. Final note on this. I think this is a case of be careful what you wish for. For a decade now, I have been searching for a high adhesion build plate for my 3D printers, and now that it's finally here, the Bamboo Super Tack is definitely the winner here when it comes to which plate has the greatest adhesion. The drawback is its adhesion is a little bit too good, and this is a case of be careful what you wish for. I've been wanting a high adhesive build plate for a decade now, and on the Bamboo Super Tack, I'm actually experiencing damage to the bottom of the prints. It's adhering so well, it's tearing sections off of them if I don't print with enough bottom layers. I've never had this problem before on a 3D printer. That said, I did bump this up. I think this is at 7 layers now to get it to stop doing this. So that's at 0.1 layer height for the bottom layers. But 5 layers just wasn't enough. I kept having this issue, as you see here. Flexing the plate, the model pops off, but a section of the bottom is still on it. So just be advised. It all comes down to what you need. The BiQu Frostbite is really good. I have no complaints with it. But the bottom line of this is the Bamboo Super Tack is better when it comes to adhesion. So while it may be too much adhesion right now, 6 months or a year from now, as they both are losing adhesion, the Super Tack will likely still be doing its job great when the Frostbite may be failing more, because it's just good enough as it is now fresh. If it loses 25-30% of its adhesion, it's probably going to start seeing more failures. If the Super Tack loses 25 or 30% adhesion, it's still going to be working great. So just take all that in mind. If you are printing things that are very, very shallow and very flexible, you are going to have a nightmare getting them off the Super Tack. You need something a little bit taller, at least a 1/4 inch tall, maybe 1/2 inch to break free so that it can flex and pop it free. If you're printing anything very thin that's going to be able to flex with the plate, you're going to have a nightmare getting it off. I think you'd be better off going with the Frostbite. So again, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you would, please click that like and subscribe button.